Hello everyone, here is Daljit Kaur, your painting teacher. I hope you all are very fine. Today we are going to start our second chapter, Art of Indus Valley Civilization. Time period is 2500 BC to 1500 BC. First of all, let's start with introduction. Charles Mason, a soldier and explorer from East India Company, first discovered the ruins of Harappa in 1842. Sir Alexander Cunningham, who later became the Director General of Archaeological Survey of Northern India, published the first seal in 1856. Location and famous sites. This civilization is called Indus Valley Civilization because it was mostly concentrated on the banks of river Indus. This site also takes its name from the modern village called Harappa, located near the former course of Ravi River. The most important cities of this culture are Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. District Larkana, which are situated in the present-day Pakistan. There are more few surrounding sites too, which are bordering parts of India. They are Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, Rupnagar, Lothal, Kalibagan, Rangpur, Alamgirpur, Banavali, Dholavira, and some places in UP also. Next is traces of artistic things. One of the major achievements of this civilization was the urban civic planning. For this, they were very famous. Their houses, their drainage system, public baths, markets were remarkable. People used to make terracotta figures, sculptures, seals, ornaments, and potteries with a fine artistic sensibility and clear imagination. Some sculptures are treated realistically, whereas some are very simplified in the terms of detail. Means they have made some sculptures in a very realistic. Realistic means each and every features in full detail they have carved, and while others are only simplified without any detail. All these artifacts remains can be seen in National Museum, New Delhi. The utensils found have been decorated with the images of gods, goddesses, women figures, and geometrical patterns. Some utensils also have designs made with lines, angles, circles, arcs with leaves and flower in black ink. Here you can also say some geometrical shapes we can see on the utensils. Thereafter, the surface is smoothened and a glossy finish is added, which is still intact after thousands of years. After the thousand of years, their shining also still remaining same as per that time. Beads made of terracotta and some beautifully decorated birds were also found. Even skeletons of some animals such as dog, cow, cat, deer, rabbits, sheep, bulls of two types with hump and without hump from in these which we are going to read also were found. Some golden and silver ornaments like nose pins, bangles, earrings, armlets, bracelets, etc. are also seen in the findings. Toys like monkeys, cart of clay without wheels have also been excavated. Next concept is bronze casting, which is very important technique. The Indus Valley civilization had made great advances in metal sculptures, mainly bronze, using a fascinating technique lost wax process. In this process, the sculpture first made out of a wax, then they put a layer of clay over that wax. Then the sculpture was heated in the melting of wax through a tiny hole made in the clay mold, leaving behind a hollow mold. Molten metal was there poured into this mold. After cooling the clay was removed and the metal sculpture remained. The same technique mastered over centuries led to the later sculptures of Chola bronzes. In this technique, first of all, they are making sculptures with the wax. Then, over the wax sculpture, they are pouring a layer of a clay. Then, they are heating that sculpture. With the heat, the wax is melted and that melted wax is coming out from a tiny hole. After the wax is melted out, they are pouring bronze melted metal through that tiny hole. After cool down that sculpture, they removed that outer layer of clay and they giving the final details to that sculpture. Next is our first sculpture, Mother Goddess. Medium of this terracotta means baked clay. Period circa 2500 BC. Location Mohenjo-daro. Size 22 into 8 into 5 centimeters. Collection National Museum, New Delhi. Theme of this: a terracotta idol of a fertility goddess. Description: it is one of the best preserved large-sized terracotta images representing the mother goddess. This is significance of the broad pan-like attachments on the both sides of the hairdo of the head of the goddess is quite unique. The headgear which she has wear made her totally unique from other people because of the unique shape of that headgear. The pinched nose and ornamentation are flatly laid on the body and pressed onto the figure. The ornamentation and the facial expressions are very bold and thick. The general folk art effect in the figure of most interesting. You can see clearly in the picture. She is wearing just a loincloth. Loincloth means like a dhoti. With a girdle, small breast uncovered, eyes are small balls of the clay. The sculptor of Mohenjo-daro was skilled in his art and could create both realistically and stylistically. The sculptor of Mohenjo-daro is successful to bring out the features with the bold and thick lines as well as realistic features also. The sculpture of Mother Goddess and various other Mother Goddesses were worshipped as the Westovers, givers of fertility and prosperity. India is traditionally a country where more than 80% of inhabitants and are agriculturalists who naturally worship gods and goddesses of fertility and prosperity. She is perhaps the prototype of a cradle ideal of a one such goddess. In India, so many farmers and other people, you can say tribals, are also worshipping god and goddesses, so many types of god and goddesses. This is the one example from that goddesses. Next is dancing girl, medium bronze, period circa 2500 BC, location Mohenjo-daro, collection National Museum, New Delhi, size 4.1 inches high. Subject matter is a small bronze statue of a dancing girl. Description is, this is one of the greatest achievement of the artists of Mohenjo-daro as the masters of miniature. Actually, this is very small in size. The bronze statue of the dancing girl is only 4 inches high, and yet it speaks volumes of metal casters' superb skills. It describes the skills of metal casting. This world famous figure shows a female figure standing in a Tribhanga pose. Tribhanga pose means slightly lifting her body, as if relaxing after a dance number, with her right hand resting on her hip and the left entirely covered with bangles resting on the left leg forward. She is waiting for her number, or she has danced well and now she is standing in a resting position with the left hand entirely covered with bangles. You can see thick and bold lines are showing her bangles. Head is slightly tilted and hair tightened with the ribbon upon shoulder. You can see on the shoulder line is coming out. Eyes are closed, thick and bold features are shown. Neck is decorated with a cowrie shell necklace. Her arms and legs look disproportionate, means imbalanced, not according to figure, not according to body, maybe for the sake of simplicity, not very realistic. The dark medium of the bronze is right for the dark negroid facial features. The features do not actually have resemblance to any particular female face. The lips and nose are thick and elongated. Elongated means lengthy. Half-closed eyes resemble the limestone bust of high priest. The physical details of the body are also very less. The female figures of this civilization are believed to be devoted to the power of fertility of women. In that time of era, women have a very important place in the society. Features are not very clear, and this figure is very simple rather than realistic. Facial expressions are also very simple. Next is male torso. Medium is terracotta, means red limestone. Period circa 2500 BC. Location Harappa. Collection National Museum, New Delhi. Subject matter is a realistic male torso. Male torso means robust body. Description: male torso is a splendid example of stone carving and handling of three-dimensional volumes at Harappa nearly 5,000 years ago. It is surprising that the sculptor of 1,000 years ago at Harappa could produce a figure as fine as a Greek artistry from 5th century BC. It is very surprised to see that 1,000 years ago a Harappan sculptor have a very high artistry skills to make this type of sculptures, which are as well as good like Greek artists, Greek sculptures. This also shows the three-dimensional volumes example of Harappan civilization. The sculpture shows a muscular and robust male in absolutely realistic human details. You can see here that human male bodies, each and every feature is very detailed and complicatedly made. The chest and stomach are given a perfect shape, giving a feeling of prana, breathe in the rounded belly. His chest and stomach are giving a realistic look, like he is having you can say breathe in it. If it is seen from behind, the roundness of the shoulders and hips is incised by the line of the spine in the center and a deep curve at the base. Here they want to show you the each and every minute detail of this sculpture, as well as human anatomy also. There is a hole at the neck wherein a single head or multiple head could have been inserted or attached. There is not any head shown in this sculpture. Maybe it is misplaced, maybe it is broken. So here we can say in neck there is a hole where a single head, or we can say multiple heads, are inserted or attached. The drill circles at the shoulders are unexplained and its arms and legs are broken. This study of body shows the mastery of sculptor in using this medium, because it is very tough to make a robust body, human anatomy in this much detail in limestone. There is a theory that this figure may have her several heads and arms because the pose of the figure is identical to the pose of Shiva. There is one theory also which shows that this figure, this robust body, have so many hands as well as so many heads, because this is the identical pose of Shiva, the lord of dance, created several thousand years later for worship as well as processions. Next and last one is painted earthen wave or jar, medium terracotta, location Mohenjo-daro, collection National Museum, New Delhi. In this excavated remains the Indus Valley civilization. Plain pottery is more commonly found than the painted ones. Rare pieces of pottery painted in the several colors have been found. This big jar was used as a storage jar for grains in Harappan and Mohenjo-daro period. In both periods, people of that era are using this type of jars. Very big jars are these kind of, they are using for keeping their grains. This jar is made on potter's wheel and with skilled hands. After baking, it had been painted and decorated with lines, angles, or you can say geometrical figures and patterns. Mostly, the designs have been drawn with black color on terracotta utensils, and the main motive of these geometrical designs is to give a shining look or for decoration purpose, and then smoothened by rubbing. After that, transparent coating is given to the jars and pots. On this jar in particular, we find a circular design in the center with horizon lines encircling the whole roundness of the vessel at the top of and bottom of the design. All pieces of pottery have very simple motifs and forms which indicate that their art had also reached a certain level of abstraction. Abstraction means imaginative art in which you can create what is going on in your mind. The shining coating of Harappan pottery is the earliest example of its kind in the Asian world. It is strange that the material they used in that time was of such great quality that even thousands of years the shine of on them is still intact. Means here they want to say that which kind of material they are using in that time, so their shining is still like that time till now. So this